Evening, ladies and gentlemen of League Zero, and welcome to this little bit of off-scheduled, rescheduled game between Goofy Goobers and Hope's Peak. My name is Akronator, and I'll be your play-by-play caster for tonight. I'm joined by Corbs on color casting and Pendy on production. Corbs, how you feeling tonight?
Pretty good, pretty good. Just showered up, feeling nice and refreshed, just the usual.
Got the
So,
aviators on and everything. We're ready to
exactly.
roll.
But
Now, it looks like the very least Goofy Goobers are rearing to go. Looking at the match chats, they are very R.
yes, they are. Speaking of which, Akri, who do you have winning this game? Like, from what
Oh
you've seen from
boy.
both the teams?
I forget what I wrote in my tier list as of last week, but I personally, right now, given everything that I know, perhaps maybe a little bit behind the scenes with staff knowledge, I forget what is public knowledge and what is private sometimes. But I kind of have to give the edge to Goofy Goobers for the time
Mhm.
being. I do have some concerns about their Orisa play from last week, but supposedly they've been practicing a little bit more with something besides just raw bunkers. So I'm hoping to see a bit more diversity in that sense.
Yeah, and both Fun and Barrage are typically flex DPS as well, and especially with the Hitscan nerfs coming through, I can see them really getting back into their comfort zone, playing those projectile heroes or Tracer or Sombra, for example, and just absolutely, I guess you can say dominating Hope's Peak. So I do have Goofy Goobers winning in the 3-1 fashion. I do think Hope's Peak is going to take like just a map, really, but other than that, Goobers are looking like the team to beat right now.
Yeah, well, sure enough, we are getting into it, and this is Lijiang Tower, specifically Gardens, is the first round. What are you expecting to see here in terms of composition, Scorps?
Not gonna lie, I'm just expecting to see the Goats 2.0 kind of comp where it's Monkey Diva, Reaper. Yep, there it is. Monkey Diva, Reaper Sombra, and Moira Lucio. So the goal with this comp is you're pretty much first team to EMP wins. Like let's be honest. Especially like all you need to do is literally just play on the front line. Diva's job in this comp is really just to protect the monkey. The Reaper is actually the main carry on this comp. If he's still alive, then the fight is still 100% winnable. So it looks and the doors will be opening up here soon. So yeah, both teams just walking out small casually. Interesting, very interested to see how they'll exchange resources here.
Definitely. Well, both teams onto the Shadow Dive, like you said, a little bit of Goats 2.0. Both monkey levels falling rather low, but Flawless will get hacked out. Will survive for the time being. Poke damage coming in from both sides, but neither team are really committing. They don't want to go full on quite yet, but as I say that, Owners uses the jump pack, but immediately disengages. These teams are being so incredibly careful and cautious, but the hack coming onto
Wow.
Dashi, the first casualty of the round. First blood will be Dashi's Diva Mech, and it looks like Hope's Peak will soft disengage, obviously losing a good portion of that defensive capabilities with the defense matrix now gone.
Yeah, the thing with Hope's Peak is that Roger had a great hack onto the Diva, and look at his ult charge. He already built up an EMP. Phone is going to probably follow up with a Blossom Burst soon. Here comes all their ults. Here comes the
Oh,
EMP as well, and oh my goodness, that was massive.
all the ults indeed. Goofy Goobers investing quite a lot there, including the EMP and the Coalescence, but it works in their favor as they find the tank line of Hope's Peak, and they have to back out even more aggressively and do have a call for a pause right after that first fight. So perhaps a
Yeah.
little bit of technical difficulties in the side of Hope's Peak. Who knows? Maybe that's why they
Yep,
lost the
Flawless's
fight.
Discord. It
Oh.
just reset on him. I've had that happen to me. It's the worst feeling ever. But good news is though, Hope's Peak is coming in with an EMP as well. But knowing Amelia, she's probably gonna get out of Bella West just around the corner, the typical advanced Lucio. And then phone, they need to once they need to catch the engage with the Death Blossom, so that way it pressures out the tanks to not really hard engage as soon as the EMP comes in. So phone needs to avoid this Blossom and also Amelia, hopefully, or no, not the Blossom, but the EMP. So we are going back into the game, and yeah, so good, and also a good thing with owners is that he has a primal rage. So just in case like he does fall really low after the hack, he can drop Primal Rage and get 1,000 HP worth of health back. So that's always nice to have.
Enough. Actually, I just noticed this now, however, that Pixel Master, normally a support player for Hope's Peak, is currently on the Sombra front. A little bit of substitutions there. A lot of ultimates coming out online, namely the EMP from Pixel Master. And it does find a few from Goofy Goobers, but it doesn't look like the follow-up is quite there. As I say that, Ty finding a few picks. Not even needing the Death Blossom. As I say that,
Wow.
the opportunity to use so does not find any kills, but will chunk down a good amount of Amelia's health. Schleim, as it were, has to back out, and the Ty finding the kill onto Owners. It looks like Goofy Goobers aren't quite ready to give up onto this point quite yet. They have about 4 players on the point, both looking for something with the Death Blossom, and will find their counterpart. So the Reaper now gone from Hope's Peak. Hope's Peak a little bit split now, playing around the point as well as on their side of the bridge. But the Coalescence is coming in. EMP in return from Vraja will cancel Chrome Zephyr's Coalescence a little bit early, and that will be Goofy Goobers retaining control of the point.
That was super impressive defense on the side of Goofy Goobers. So what they did was, yes, they did initially lose the fight because with all the staggers and such going on, as there's bomb, which is going to be easily blocked by Owners, they were just able to keep touching the point without really having too much of a struggle. Both the tanks go down, and yeah, this looks like it will be Goofy Goobers on the first point here.
Sure enough, it just has to deal with the staggered in players coming in. Pixel Master trying to find something with the EMP, but it is for not a tie now, giving their turn to touch their toe onto the points. Dash E getting on briefly, but not where Bone is greeting them with a fair amount of bullets to the face, and that's going to be the first round, 100-0 for Goofy Goobers.
Yeah.
Rather large statement there, if you ask me.
Goobers actually played that map super well. Like, even though yes they did, it looked like they were about to lose fights. Like, for example, towards the last point, that they just really switched it up. Interestingly enough, we'll be seeing a ball comp coming out from Goobers, and more than likely a Rhine comp coming out from the side of Hope's Peak. So Hope's Peak is going to use phone on the Pharah. She's actually really known for her Pharah as well. So definitely have her on the outside by the Mega Health Pack, use the ball to distract a little bit, get people out of position, you know, the whole shenanigan. I wouldn't be surprised if Raja were to switch to Tracer here, after the TP, of course. Yep, there it is. And yeah, this is an interesting comp coming out from Goofy Goobers. However, it could work very well in their favor.
Rather unorthodox, but they are rolling out on it, folks. This is not a meme, it is in fact their strategy. Owners getting the better half of their health bar taken down, as well as Raja finding the wrong side of Pixel Master's mind. So it looks like Hope's Peak taking a little bit of a demanding presence onto the point for the time being. Amelia and EOC lose their life and mech respectively, and that's going to be Hope's Peak taking the first capture with little resistance.
Yeah, pretty much. Goofy Goobers was looking to get like a variety of angles onto the death ball of Hope's Peak. However, they were able to deny the damage so well that it just didn't even bother them, to say the least. Owners got really low super early, so he had to be out of the fight for a bit, which gave Hope's Peak the opportunity to find Raja on the Tracer. Like I said earlier, Owners is getting super low, and they just fallen straight back to point. So great call coming in. Yeah. Great call by Owners, honestly, but it wasn't really to be honest.
Definitely struggling with this wrecking ball composition. The back cap almost came through with the Bar Mercy as well as Owners onto the points, but Phone paying for that attempt with their life. Despite having the barrage, not really being capable of using it. The rest of Goofy Goobers were kind of stuck into this choke point. They didn't really have their Ana, their Diva, or their Tracer ready to go. But it looks like they are heading back towards the point now. Hope's Peak. Nano Barrage coming in, will find two almost immediately with Raja finding Pixel Master in the fray. Really only needing those two ultimates this time, or rather their turrets will find Owners, but I'm not sure if that's going to be enough. The Sentry turret can only do so much, and Raja finishes out the last couple picks for Goofy Goobers to get their first capture percentage onto this point.
Yeah, the good news though is with the side of, well, Phone just fell into a trap, but the good news is with the side of Goofy Goobers is this is where you want to be playing, because you can easily do ult cycles and just cancel out the rest of the point and go keep it into your favor. There comes a very early foul coming out from Amelia, and Viraja unfortunately goes down. So Hope's Peak is actually playing this super smart with tires and stuff. So
Raja not quite able to find the value they wanted in the backline. Found Pixel Master a bit too challenging of an opponent. Now it's really just Owners and Phone trying to cause a bit of a ruckus on the point. But Phone coming back with a 2K is now cleaning up house. The Gravitic Flux coming in from Dashi, but I'm not sure if they found much. Actually, they did find the Bar of Mercy, but the follow-up is not quite there. Amelia does fall, but Phone did escape for a brief period. Geo and Dashi trying their darndest to keep this point alive, but Raja now back onto the point. That is a lot of damage coming in from the Tracer, as well as the post-bomb stick coming onto the tie, and that will secure the point for at least a little while longer, or keep Goofy Goobers into the fray for just a little while longer, as Hope's Peak still staggering in, but it looks like they want to disengage. Still have the favorable control of points, and they just want to make sure they have a clean fight coming into this next engagement.
And yeah, like I said earlier, this is where you want to be if you're Goofy Goobers. Like these super scrappy fights as well. Look at Phone. She already has another Nano Barrage, and this is definitely going to be one of the biggest things in the entire point. If she does find the right angle, which she does. Oh, but she
is getting utterly destroyed, as well as the res getting denied by Geo. The boop coming in perfectly timed, as well as the Baptiste Matrix Pixel Master just trying to cause a little bit of a ruckus alongside the Baptiste assist. Viraja looking for something in the backline, not really finding too much, having to rotate back around, harassing the tank line, but not really getting too much out of it. Owners and Phone, on the other hand, the latter now back on the Doomfist, looking for a few punches, but finds the that Flawless's shoulder is a little bit too much to handle. Viraja and Owners still not giving up control at this point. The Wrecking Ball and the Tracer being a little bit too sticky to deal with, as well as EOC coming back on the Sigma. Will get immediately Gravitic Flux from his counterpart in Dash E. The tire coming in from Pixel Master, and the point does flip over. Pixel Master's tire not finding anyone, not even damage anyone. Owners just spinning to win at this point. Flawless now back onto the Wrecking Ball himself. And this point doesn't really look like it's going in anyone's favor, but keep in mind that Hope's Peak is still in command of this point. The fight is getting a little bit scrappy, especially with Dashi now out of the fight, but EOC is falling in return to tie now back onto the tree. That is a lot of Hope damage. Brought in a Nano Boost onto Owners, saves him at the very last second, as well as Lucifer finding the kill onto the tie. The first damage now gone. Pixel Master coming back on the Tracer, but will it be enough? Will they be able to stall it out and find the kills, especially with Raja and Owners having their ultimates? They have the mines and the pulse bomb whenever they feel the need to throw them out. Phone finding Dash E as well. I'm not sure if that was a boop or what. But Flawless finding the pulse bomb to be a bit too much damage to survive through, and it looks like this point, despite Hope's Peak best efforts, is going in favor of Goofy Goobers, and Peak didn't quite have enough hope to take Lijiang Tower, but this is only the first map in a first of 3 series.
Yeah, I was curious, like, Hope's Peak must be having some communication issues or something, because it looks like they're all over the place trying to focus a single target. Phone with the play of the game, probably a pretty massive barrage, and there it comes right over the top, you know, finding 2. Yeah, that was, honestly, that came in at a pretty clutch time, and Goofy Goobers, with that comp especially that they were running, they wanted super scrappy fights. They wanted the fights to last forever and seem like, no, you're not going to capture the point. And because they have such quick mobility heroes that they can easily just, hey, dip their toe in the water to stall and then just get out right away. So that was super smart play on the side of Goofy Goobers. And Hope's Peak just looks like they kind of had a bit of a miscommunication on their side.
Definitely playing a little bit slow on the side of Hope's Peak, and as we all know, the longer Afara is allowed to have an impact on the match, then the stronger she becomes, the faster they can build up to that barrage, or even just get poke damage here and there. It didn't really feel like, outside of Natai's brief swap to McCree, that much was being done against the aerial menace. Looks like the next map is going to be Kings, as we are going to hybrid. So, I mean, at this point, it's basically sacrilege if we don't go to Kings Row.
Exactly.
It's especially at the advanced division level, right? These teams want nothing more than just run it down main on Kings Row. get as many shatters and whatever else they can possibly get. So while we are waiting
Exactly. I
for
mean, it's
them
kind
to
of
ready
the
up,
let's be honest with you. If you're a Rhine main, you automatically just love Kings Row because it's literally the only map you can play Rhine on, it feels like. It looks like there are some substitutions coming in from Goofy Goobers. Amelia will be heading to the bench in favor of Scorch, and Rhinos will be making his season 4 debut on the side of Goofy Goobers, and it's coming in for Raja. So interesting swaps here to say the least. I Obviously Rhinos is more known for his hit scan presence. And Hopespeak is interestingly keeping Pixel Master on DPS. So
don't believe they have any other DPS. I mean, the only other
yeah.
substitute they have in the lobby is Knock on Wood, who is another support player. So they have four supports and really only one official DPS. That being said, Pixelmaster actually got a decent amount of value out of basically anything he was playing. So I'm not gonna sit here and pretend like, oh,
Mhm.
it's obviously a support on DPS. He was performing rather well.
Yeah. Yeah, he was farming up EMPs relatively quickly. Like he was still on pace with Viraja in terms of just EMP overall EMP farming. But the thing is, they just look super uncoordinated, and I think that's the biggest issue right there. If you, especially in such a high division like advanced, it's like you need to stay coordinated unless you have, tier 3 players on your team. Then they can probably just carry you out of any situation, it feels like. But yeah, Hope Speak just the communication really isn't there from what I saw. So it looks like Goofy Goobers is ready, so we're just waiting on the R from Hope Speak. Candy, go ahead and type that production is ready. You know the drill.
Well, think back to season two, everyone, particularly the intermediate division. I want
Mhm.
to paint the scene. Imagine just about a year ago, uh, imagining the Phone Rhinos DPS duo. I think that at the time would have sounded like one of the most cursed things that we have ever experienced, and yet it is now our reality. This is, in fact, the correct timeline as to which
Oh,
team will succeed with this DPS lineup in the mix. Who's to say? But if Li Zhang is anything to go by, I think Goofy Goobers might have a slight edge. But fair is fair. Hope's Peak has
mm,
yet to really show us what they've got
Now
thus far. They had
entering
moments, and let's
King's
see if they
Row.
can build up some of that coordination over the course of this map. Kings Row is very much its own beast, let alone Control being its own beast. So who's
yeah.
to say that we can take everything into account and say Li Zhang is going to be exactly what the series is going to be like for the rest of the maps we see.
Yeah, I mean, personally, I kind of like the scrappy fights. A, I get to talk a lot less and listen to your beautiful voice, and B, what'll happen is you brawl is, let's be honest, it's probably the most exciting because A, you get to see two Reinhardts just literally bash their faces into each other, and also some clutch heats coming up from
Detecting
divas,
enemy
some clutch immortalities,
presence.
and maybe a big Hanyoon here or there. Also, the thing with King's Row as well is the map is super, super fast paced.
After this match
And
is
obviously
over,
you want a
right now,
Reinhardt for
it's
a
time
good
to get
majority of
serious.
it. I've actually seen teams run the Winston on the final part of it, believe it or not, because of that high ground space right there that Winston can easily utilize. Um,
5,
and
4, 3,
and yeah, it looks like
1.
both teams will be mirroring comps.
Attack.
Nitai is on the Widow, but I wouldn't be surprised if they swapped after the free, which they just did. So uh, let's see how they were able to push past this choke.
Never blame the hit scan for going for the cheeky Widowmaker pick, because if it works, it's the best thing ever. Bone getting rather low there to start things off. The ice block already forced out, as well as owners blocked off in the wall. They are completely negated for being able to move whatsoever. The lamp already being invested from Luke, so they're not going to have that. And sure enough, Flawless finds owners rather early on because the stage just wasn't there after the Immortality Field was spent. Flawless finding the other tank, Pixel Master, despite being normally a flex support, showing that his flex DPS is up to snuff, dare I say.
Yeah, honestly, Pixel Master has been doing a really good job on this DPS. Look at he's already 3/4 to his Blizzard, so
He's outpacing Phone.
I know that is
charge.
that is actually, yeah, that's super impressive. And considering that he is normally known as a support player, like the fact that he is outpacing Phone on this May really shows that, I guess you can say, he's been grinding. Anyways, he already has the Blizzard, which is super impressive. Here comes the window, and great heat on the side of Eok to really deny that value.
Coming out from Rhinos, looking for something, but it looks like the disengage from Hope's Peak is rather good. They do not want to play with this cowboy today. They don't care what time of the day it is. Now, both Mays do have Blizzards as well as a few other ultimates coming up online rather soon, but Hope's Peak looks like they're just kind of waddling around first points, deciding where they want to go. Natai going up to the high ground. Okay, everyone's going up to the high ground. Never mind, it's just a very slow Congo line, folks. Bear with us. As we have Hope's Peak rotating around rather far. Oh, they're still going.
Oh,
no, they're still on the high ground, except Goofy Goobers have scouted this out long since past. Now, the map is completely swapped with the high noon coming out. The wall from Phone is there to negate most of it being broken by Flawless, but the disengage is there from Goofy Goobers. This is a strange song and dance without shatter from Owners, fighting basically the entire team of Hope's Peak, and once again their hopes are squandered as they are sent back to spawn besides Dashy, who somehow gets out.
That was perfectly executed by Rhinos as well. Like what he did was he just did the basic grind tech where he threw the flash over the shield, and Owners was able just to follow up on that super easily. He pretty much found the entire team, but Phone goes down super early, so this is huge if you're on the side of Hope's Peak.
Especially because they do not have the Blizzard in return. Phone used it last round. No Maywall or anything of the sort, so Pixelmaster basically gets a free Blizzard. EOC couldn't eat that one. And that's going to be the cart moving rather quickly to the second point, although I do have to say Goofy Goobers are likely going to get another contest.
Oh yeah, totally. Honestly, it's great that Goofy Goobers died relatively quickly there, because if you die relatively quickly, hey, you're all grouped up again. I mean, it's fun. And it's harder for the enemy team to stagger. And also, they are kind of matching the ult economy on the side of both feet. Great block.
The bomb lands on the high ground. It doesn't actually get into the line of sight of anyone, but Chrome Zephyr goes down rather early. So Rhinos, as well as Rhinos, investing the high noon. Not sure where he was. I guess farther back in front of the Baptiste Matrix, but it doesn't matter because Hope's Peak target focus has flipped on like a switch compared to Lijiang, and they are just rolling through second point with now, what, 4 minutes going into third point. That is a hefty time bank if I ever saw one.
Yeah, the one thing they definitely do have to worry about is Phone built up another Blizzard already, so definitely. The good news is though, Pixelmaster is not too far behind, not like about 20%ish behind, so that's great. And Pixelmaster finds Phone, so that is a huge pick. Again,
on the Phone, and Phone had Blizzard. I'm sure they would have loved to use that, but they gotta wait for her to come back. But it might be too late as Rhinos now falls. Both DPS out of the fight. Phone just now getting back, but the rest of her team are running back to spawn to meet her. They can't do anything until they have 6, especially with the ultimates coming online for Hope's Peak. The Blizzard coming in from Phone kites everyone off of points, but Scorch falls, not as though they had Beast, but it doesn't really matter because both DPS ultimates coming out for Hope's Peak, and that will clear off point. And the kill feed is entirely in favor of Hope's Peak. 3 minutes and 7 seconds. That's a speed run if I ever saw one.
Yeah, Hope's Peak definitely. I don't know what they did. They probably just activated their gamer chairs or something. They just like turned on a bunch of target focus, and they looked night and day compared to what we saw on Lijiang Tower. Like they are looking more coordinated, more of an aggressive team to say the least. Like more of a faster paced team as well. The only blunder that I really saw was the shatter from Owners, which caught a majority of the team. But even then. Yeah, sure. Ryan lands a fat shatter once in a while, but the fact that they were able to pick off Phone twice when she had Blizzard, which was huge, and just allowed them to maintain map control. So yeah, we're gonna see the exact same comps again, except maybe Rhinos might be staying onto the Hanzo. So the reason why you might on a Hanzo on this map is number one. You can get easy picks like onto their squishies. Like Hanzo is great, just at spamming spamming the what's it called, the choke point, and just finding these random picks that you're like, how did he get that? And compared to McCree, who has more utility when the fight actually breaks out. So with Hanzo, you kind of want to find picks before the fight begins, but never mind. They're just switching back to McCree. So guess we won't be seeing that cool tech come into play, but you know, who cares? It's King's Row. Let's just have fun and watch these teams brawl it out.
Mirror composition, but that's not to say that this composition is particularly boring considering last round. Early Maywall coming in from Phone, but doesn't really block anyone off from the bulk of Hope's Peak, but Phone now cut out alone, are allowed to get back to the rest of the team. So not really too much happening. Orders does fall as well as the tie, both found by their counterparts. But I would dare to say that the Reinhardt dying there is a little bit more valuable in the grand scheme of things, and Hope's Peak going to be holding on to this one for this fight.
Yeah, the thing with Hope's Peak is Geo had to retreat pretty early there. I wouldn't be surprised if they were able just to rush onto the point, which, yes, that's what they are doing right now. And there comes an early Ant Matrix coming out. Goofy Goobers can easily just rotate away and negate the value of it. Rhinos almost gets picked though, so he has to play very, very smart if he wants to stay alive.
A little bit antsy there, ready to go, but they do have to be wary of the Baptiste's widescreen television. The Blizzard coming in from Phone, but Dashi eats at that. Dashes the hopes of Goofy Goobers for this fight as kill feed is entirely blue for Peak, and that's going to be back to the drawing board for Goofy Goobers.
Yeah, and a great wall at the end by Pixel Master as well. They were able to get 2 more picks and just set back Goofy Goober's respawn timer by like 10%. Wait, or no, 10 seconds. Well, you know what I mean. But yeah, that was a great wall coming out from Pixel Master. The good news is they do have a plethora of ultimates to work with, and so they can definitely use that to combo something like, for example, Noon Blizzard. You know, slow them down, get it, and the rest of it. Which here comes the high noon coming out from Rhinos relatively early, and an early lamp as well.
I do not really finding too much. Flawless is brought down low, but Geode and Natai trying to bring this back. Owners and Rhinos both being felled. Geode investing the beat. They want to win this fight regardless of whether Natai is gone or not. The Blizzard even being brought in. Phone dying to the base Blizzard damage, and Scorch will barely take it out of their life. As Rhinos actually comes back out of the Tracer, so I guess they weren't feeling the McCree. And once again, back to the drawing board, but it's not quite over yet. They got 1 minute and 30 seconds.
Yeah, Goofy Goobers looked like they were gonna still take this fight, so that's why Rhinos maybe switched over to the Tracer because they could have easily got the staggers out. As there's a high noon, just negated by DM, so.
Well, you can't blame him for trying. Natai made it a little bit awkward for the investment. The Blizzard gets eaten again. Dash E says no, they are a bit too hungry. 1 tick invested, given up onto the points. Actually 2 now, the final tick being fought after. Massive shatter coming in from Owners, finding, I believe that was 4 people onto their backs, 2 falling from it. It looks like Hope's Peak are going to have to be giving up first point, but not after a rather successful stall in terms of killing time.
Yeah, Owners literally just bailed out his team once again with a massive shatter, which hit pretty much the rest of the players that were alive. I think, yeah, that was a 5-man, so. The good news is now Rhinos does have a pulse bomb, which can easily force out an immortality field here, and which would be a huge PC utility lost by the side of. And interesting, they used it.
Not the timing we were expecting, but it almost happened the way we said it would. So you do have Rhinos actually surviving a little bit of a flashbang encounter there. Natai not able to find the sight lines. Rhinos still up onto the high ground, not really into the fight quite yet, but now pressuring out Natai, who is rather low, as well as the rest of Goofy Goobers. Now pushing up the Shadow, not really finding too much Flawless, as well as multiple ultimates being invested. The point looks like a Venn diagram of Blizzard, but Dash E, never mind. Phone is just not allowed to exist on May. Go back far, like he says. It was finding more value out of the barrages, and the fight's going extremely back and forth. Hard to say who has favor, but as I say that, it looks like Hope's Peak are just bullying EOC, not allowed to play the game either. That just seems to be the theme of the game thus far. Dash E, you know, this man was a menace on Z9 last season, but didn't really get the praise he deserved, and I hope to correct that wrong at the very least in this series.
One thing I want to point out, look at the space that Rhinos is creating on the Tracer. Like, 3 people went back to go try to help the support. There comes the Pulse Bomb and the Lamp. And so that was actually a great play, and that allowed the team to push up. However, it's going to be relatively difficult pushing up into this Amp Matrix. So, great Amp Matrix coming out from Chrome to save his team booty. And, yeah, oh, Chrome finds a pick on them, though. That's huge.
Rather large rotation coming in from Goofy Goobers will actually take out the Baptiste of Hope's Peak, and they are pushing in now. And the tie falling soon thereafter, as well as Pixelmaster Flawless soon thereafter as well. And that's basically a 6v2 at this point. Make it 6v1 dash E. Sorry, but you can't clutch it that hard once again. Go back to eating blizzards, Phone says, or perhaps not. That might not be in Phone's best interest. But either way, that's probably going to be second point, sure enough. For
honestly, that was a really well fought second point, though. The good news is, though, on the side of Hope's Peak, is that they'll have a better time bank no matter what if they do decide to go into overtime. Here comes an early round coming out, a great rotation coming out, and the Shatter doesn't find anything, unfortunately, so.
Owner's getting rather low as well, and keep in mind, folks, that the defense has a rather hefty spawn advantage at this point, so anything back and forth is going to be mostly in favor of Hope's Peak, and sure enough, you have Goofy Goobers pushing the cart, but also soft disengaging. They can't push anymore for any staggered kills, which allows Hope's Peak the opportunity to coalesce into an actual team.
Yeah, and honestly, if I were this on the side of oh, nice shatter attempt coming out from Flawless. Oh, the feed is not quite there.
Owners is not having a good time, not really allowed to move, let alone play the game. The tie being caught out in the backline, but Chrome Zephyr gets the revenge. I believe it was Rhinos who took them out previously, and EOC just have to reset off the map in lieu of being staggered too hard. Coming into this, it still looks like Hope's Peak has a rather hefty spawn advantage, as well as a ultimate advantage.
Yeah, it's kind of a they'll definitely have the high noon by next fight for sure. Yeah, they already have it pretty much, and they have bomb, and there comes the window coming out from Chrome, and it does find Rhinos. So great early window coming out from Chrome just to win the fight super early.
Mind, folks, that if this goes to overtime and Goofy Goobers capture all 3 points in overtime, they don't get another attempt to push the cart. So that would be, at the very least, what Hope's Peak are fighting for. And actually, I'm not really sure if they can even get the cart pushed in all the way outside of overtime. So this is looking rather grim for Goofy Goobers. They need to make something work and make it work fast, as they do have the Blizzard, and I guess fourth time may perhaps be the charm. Dash E has anything to say about it once again. The high noon being boosted up onto the May wall, but not really finding anything good. Soft disengage from Goofy Goobers, and it looks like Phone's wanting to toss in the Blizzard, not really finding the right opportunity. They want to deal with Dash E first. The bomb coming out. Phone not even investing in Blizzard, but Scorch somehow gets taken out by the bomb. The kills are coming in favor of Goofy Goobers, but once again, they're already into overtime. So this is a draw or lose scenario, regardless of what happens from here on out for Goofy Goobers. Geo just stalling out the point as much as humanly possible. It doesn't work for too long. Flawless finds 3 with a shatter, but not really any follow-up. Blizzard's been diagramming the point. Pixelmaster actually taking at what is it with owners and just getting these random 3-man shatters or more? But it doesn't look like the follow-up is quite there as Rhinos get sent to the Omnic Underground, and they get off the points. That's gonna be Hope's Peak getting their name into the series.
Yeah, the Hope's Peak definitely looked like a different team from map 1 to map 2. I'm wondering if it's like as we see a massive shatter coming out.
No surprises.
Yeah, no surprise here. Let's just see it. Oh my goodness. Yeah, that's a little bit unfair right there, to say the least.
I
But
mean, hey, you lose the map, but you get play of the game, so it
exactly.
evens out.
Exactly. You just got to flex your muscles sometimes, even if you do lose. Anyways, yeah. So Hope's Peak looks like a completely different team compared from the new Bonnie to, or no, what am I saying? Lijiang
Umbani.
Tower to now.
We're not set Umbani yet. I think
Yeah,
I don't even know
it's
if that's in the map pool, is
no,
it?
it's not even. No, it's not in the map pool. Someone said it as a joke, and it was just stuck in my head. But
I believe I believe it to
but yeah, Hope's Peak just looks like a like night and day difference between what was seen on Lijiang Tower compared to what was seen on King's Row. So, and I'm also curious. Rhinos did not play. Rhinos and Scorch did not play at all last week on the side of Goofy Goobers. I wonder if it's like kind of more, hey, this is the first time we're playing together kind of situations. So
I
on
think
like a
Scorch
bit,
actually played flex support last week because I don't think Lupical
yeah.
was there. So sure enough,
Hmm.
Amelia is coming back in. Hero is actually being subbed in. I don't believe we've seen this player at all. So in general, it's been assumed that we'd see more of Raja and Phone, especially in the pre-season. And last week, that's basically all we saw. Um, versus Axolotl Syndicate, I believe it was, or no, Powerhouse.
Yeah.
Um, because those two have so much synergy with each other. So I'm curious to see how the Ryanos Hero combination comes in because I don't think we're familiar with Hero whatsoever. I think they're a newcomer, a
Yeah.
rookie. So who knows?
Yeah, Hero, from what I've seen, they look like they're more known for their Genji play. So,
Are you just saying
and
that because of their profile picture?
yeah, well, that and
Yeah.
I kind of hit view hours and
Yeah,
yeah,
okay.
this season is they're looking like pretty good on the Genji. Interest interestingly enough, it looks like they're on the lower side of in terms of like the advanced SR. Yeah, it's yeah.
All right. Okay, so we're actually seeing a few swaps come in from Hope's Peak as well. So knock on wood coming in for Geode.
Let's
Traditionally,
go.
traditionally what this has been is Knock is more comfortable on the Brigitte, from what I understand.
Hmm.
So I would expect to see double bubble here, which isn't really that
Hmm.
shocking. The map is Watchpoint Gibraltar, by the way, if the graphics haven't caught up to that. So Brigitte for double bubble, that's not exactly uncommon, dare I say.
Yeah, and yeah, I think it's the same thing with Amelia. You kind of have scores for the Lucio duty, just hey, get in there, you know what you're gonna play the frog. And Amelia is more of just like the general overall more flexible main support, I guess you can say, where they can pull out the Mercy, they can pull out the Brig, they can even play like a flex support character like Bap, 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 Anna, just on top of that. But yeah, interesting subs coming out from both teams here. And we are gonna see the debut of Hero. So this is this is gonna be pretty interesting to see to say the least. And yeah, we're just waiting on our um
I believe we're waiting
wow.
on Hope's Peak. Um, yeah, I believe they're the only ones who haven't given the R yet. So we're just waiting on them. In the meantime, Goofy Goobers at the very least, they're not playing just Orisa composition, so that's good to see, right? After two maps, no Orisa. So far, so good. Orisa is good
Yes.
at certain
But
times, but the battle
yeah.
cow is not universal at the current moment in time, which I think a lot of people are breathing a sigh of relief for because the meta's always more fun when
Yeah.
she's niche.
Exactly. It feels I honestly I'd rather have another year of goats than watch a year of Orisa being the meta main tank. Like that is honestly Orisa is I mean granted Orisa can be fun sometimes. Hot take, because
Sometimes,
you're
sure, I can understand that.
exactly.
Just not all the
Exactly.
time.
You have a big minigun on your right arm just mowing down people. You shoot out a shield as well, and you get to pretty much have a grab off of a cooldown, which let's be honest, it's pretty fun, as well as just the Terminator mode where you just harden up and go, okay, what did I just do there? No.
Let's just agree to never talk about that ever. Yeah,
Yeah,
either way.
I'm never gonna talk about that again. Uh
Uh, I'm just waiting for 3 minutes for the stream to catch up and watch chat comment on that. Regardless,
yeah, this is
either
gonna be
way,
fun.
I'm very curious to see what the DPS lineup for Goofy Goobers in terms of hero picks, what they're gonna be looking like, right? Because Rhinos, he's rather flexible in terms of anything to do with hit scan. He's even been known to swap over to like a Sombra in some cases, so they could try and run that if they didn't want to run like a pure double bubble, right? And then hero, I've seen
Genji?
Genji on occasions, but it's hit or miss, you know, either you're Necros or you're not, you know, I guess a better example would be like either you're Sparkle or you're not. You know?
Yeah, that's true.
You're either a really, really good Genji that's just allowed to run
Yeah,
rampant or getting
it's
shut
pretty
down
much
hard.
exactly. It's pretty much like, are you Sparkle or are you Color Hex? So kind of
Has Calyrex even played this season? I haven't seen him.
actually yes he did last
Oh,
for the
that's
playoff game. He
right.
actually started for Boston. Granted, they did lose 3-0, but
Didn't
it
they
was
swap him out after one map or something?
yeah, they swapped him out after
I
one
think he was
map.
a
It was
Torb
a
player.
yeah, he just came in to play Torb, and they were just like, you're done. But
As a New England local, I'm just glad they got to the knockouts, right?
yeah,
Baby steps. Either
exactly.
way.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, Paris could be a very scary team to watch out for. Like if we're talking Overwatch League, like they've been going in the right direction, and it's looking like they could be easily a top 5 team in the North American division by the time the season's ending. So honestly, good for them. Vala, if you're watching this, great job with your management skills. I know the budget issue was very difficult to overcome, but you definitely did find the right players in order to really, I guess you could say, change the culture out in Paris.
Well, we do have Ryanos declaring that he will, in fact, be going Genji. I would love to see it. Not really, please don't. I would
Please
like
don't.
I would like to
I,
see Goofy Goobers, you know, be competitive, right?
yeah, I'd
But
rather have the guy with the Genji profile picture on the Genji if you.
okay, so we're
Yeah.
seeing a more standard composition. It looks like Hero's going to be on the Tracer, so I guess that answers that question. Rhinos
Mhm.
on the Ash EOC, not choosing his pick quite yet, but I would have to assume either Rosario or Diva. Sure enough, it's one of the two. Um, I kind of doubt that Hope's Peak composition is more than just a quick, uh, the halt hook, check for anyone on the bridge, and then immediately swap to something else.
Yeah, that's kind of the fun thing. I guess you can say it's kind of like an Orisa Hog dive where you just literally jump out, try to find a pick, and then come in ASAP. So Anna is playing actually super close to her, interestingly enough. And yeah, maybe if they do decide to engage, she's gonna throw a nade on the ground, hit her tanks and while anting the others. But yeah, it looks like the win condition on the side of Post Peak is the Genji Blade standard, you know, just the classic Nano Blade. And Mixer Master is doing a great job farming it up already.
There is a cybernetic ninja on the field, ladies and gentlemen, but it is not the player we thought would be playing. The anti-nade coming in from Lupical. 3 people anti-naded, and results in really only 1 kill. Dash E somehow surviving that, getting out with their mech. And despite Hero getting a very early sleep dart, taking a brief nap from Chrome to Zephyr, it doesn't look like anything will be punished against Goofy Goobers. So they're rather healthy for the time being. However, they're not particularly close to too many ultimates outside of the bomb. Nano Boost already coming in onto Flawless, but gets booped away, so the electrified monkey, shall we call it, isn't really getting much value. A shotgun from Ryanos to push everyone back. Natai loses the Tracer duel as well off screen. And that's going to be Hope's Peak wrestling control of the high ground, but they're a little bit weaker for it. It doesn't look like Goofy Goobers want to allow them to have control of blue box, but owners moved off briefly. The Nano Monkey now coming in favor of the defense.
What is made?
There's a ton of stuns coming in. Lupical finding quite a bit of anti-nade value, and that's both supports down almost simultaneously from Hope's Peak, and they gotta disengage at this point.
Did you see that sleep from Lupical?
No, but I can assume it's rather good because he's nasty.
Yeah, it was rather good. He got him out of the recall, so you know, he's been hitting up the worship codes and just he predicted that sleep perfectly. So, but the bad news is on the side of Goofy Goobers is they have absolutely nothing except for a grab coming up by Ian. I'm not even sure if he can build it up by the time the Nano Blade comes out as well. So
speaking
never
of,
mind, he's
the
gonna
Nano
get it.
Blade is online, and who's to say they have anything to deal with it. The Graviton Surge coming in, basically onto just Flawless. Pixelmaster looking for something with the Nano Blade, but getting booped away from Amelia, not finding anything aside from really a zoning blade. The cart basically abandoned at this point, but it is rather close. Pixelmaster outside of the Nano and the Blade will find Amelia, though, so a little bit of revenge from the whip shot from before. Now Ryanos taking out the Tracer on Peak, but a lot of space being given up to Hope's Peak. As I say that, though, Dashi falling, so Hope's Peak fighting an uphill battle now. It looks like they're going to have to disengage. Despite getting rather close to first point, they're not quite able to push it the whole way through. Oh, and the stagger's coming in. Hero smells blood and water, and Flawless should be able to get out, but I can't say the same for anyone else who's left behind.
Yeah. And the problem if you're on the side of Hope's Peak is look at the ult economy on the side of Goofy Goobers. It's like they got to go into a Bob, a Pulse Bomb, a Primal, a Nano. Like, have fun, I guess. The good news is, though, they'll be on their Nano and Pulse Bomb as well, so they might be able to find a pick to shut down one of these ultimates as well. So that if you're on Hope's Peak, that is probably your goal, but again, you never know. Here comes the Pulse Bomb.
Nano with coming in as well as the Pulse Bomb finding Pixelmaster, who did swap over to the McCree in the midst of that reset. Owners now the Primal Rage just booping everyone around. Less than 10 seconds remaining, so someone has to touch the card. Bob, not exactly the person I was thinking of to touch the card, but a Nano Flawless is now running amok in the server room. Gets anti-nated, forced to use his Primal Rage. The card almost being abandoned a bit too long, and it doesn't look like Hope's Peak has the manpower nor the capability to push the cart as far as it needs to go. Flawless anti-nated, and basically one knock on wood, really just flailing as air, and that's gonna be where the cart rests. That's a first hold if I ever saw one.
Yeah, the problem on the side of Hope's Peak is that they were over relying on that Nano Blade to actually get value, and Pixel is looking really good on the flex DPS, but like, the problem is he needs, and if he really wants to get value, I guess you'd say, like right away, it was gonna be a rough comp for Genji to begin with. I mean, you got to go into a brig, you had to go into a brig like. I mean, Tracer's pretty difficult to kill as Genji as well, and an Ana who literally looks like he doesn't miss a sleep. So, yeah, this was definitely a phenomenal defense on the side of Goofy Goobers. So, good for them knowing how to counter the Nano Blade as well. It looks like they might try a TP Widow strategy. So like TP the Widow onto the other side just to find a quick little pick and then just TP back. So they will be going into a Widowmaker of their own. And never mind, we got the Echo Tracer. Bit of a classic, more of a classic dive comp. I definitely like the Brig in this comp as well because you can pretty much pocket the Tracer and the Echo being safe, and never mind, they're going up to the Maker.
To the Widowmaker, so they do like them some snipers, which haven't really gotten a chance to see thus far. But Pixelmaster now showing yet another new hero in his repertoire, the Echo. I was sort of expecting that to be his pick going into the previous round, but better late than never, I suppose. The Widowmaker duel now commencing. Ryanos finding a body shot onto Natai, but it's not enough to claim the life of his counterpart. Dive coming in onto the high ground, but Owners is the one who is melted. Ryanos might win the Widow duel, but I'm not sure if it matters when Owners is melted that quickly. Chrome's Zephyr falling. The hero soon thereafter, rather back and forth, and it's hard to say who has the advantage, but it looks like the cart will move slowly. No, never mind, they leave that in favor of regrouping. Both teams just kind of at a stalemate for the time being.
Yeah.
Well,
nice. Yeah, Natai with a nice little shot on the Rhinos. Honestly, having the Tracer push the card was actually super smart. Having the Diva drop down was also super smart. So, yeah, that's a good call. Keep him. The Diva is going to be in check of the Tracer. They do initiate a dive onto the Widow, who's actually going to live and just get topped up back and forth.
Allowed to exist for a second time. That Echo beam is just more than deadly. It's basically a deletion mechanism, and Pixelmaster knows how to use it. Who would have thought that flex supports have good mechanics?
Yeah. The good news is though, if you're on the side of if you are on the side of Goobers, owners can, oh my goodness, owners just died.
He's not allowed
Oh
to
my God.
exist ever. He's just Alt F4 and you get almost the same
Is that-
result outside of a little bit of space making. Rhinos and the Thai in the meantime having a gentleman's agreement to not really shoot anything
No
other
one
than
can
each
hide
other.
from the
Both of them
sun.
now have sights online. Granted, I don't know if they care about the benefit to their team
Yeah,
as much as the duel
oh,
itself.
that's
The
right.
Graviton Surge coming in from EOC, but nothing really coming from it. Pixelmaster copying the Brigitte. Running back to the rest of his team. Knock on wood, actually finding it as whip shot on the hero. Have a duplicated rally coming in play. Soon thereafter taken out of play. And Goofy Goobers look like they're in a little bit of a stalemate. They can't push the card very much further without suffering the wrath of the Thai. And Flawless and Dashy are doing a great job of keeping the pressure on the high ground and not allowing them.
Oh, Rhinos!
But that is going to open up the sightlines quite a lot. Both Widowmakers now gone, but the Brigitte outside of
Oh, what a
is
nade.
now gone. Lupical once again with the anti-nade. This man never sleeps, but his opponents certainly do, as Pixelmaster gets out of that game. With Hero, with his life, Hero in the meantime comes back around, you never expected.
But yeah, look at the card on the side of Goofy Goobers. Like, they did not get too much progress at all, so they can definitely recontest this as well. And are they staggering the Ana? Or never mind.
Where are
Take
they?
it.
Where is it?
Never mind.
Either way,
Yeah.
throughout that entire fight, which looked to be mostly in favor of Goofy Goobers, they didn't touch the card, so it was actually moving backwards that entire time. Rhino's getting extremely low on the Ash pick now, but picks coming in left and right, and the Thai will once again take out Rhinos. This sniper duel going rather back and forth. The cart being pushed rather close, only 4 meters and some change away. Don't see 9, but there's not too many people on the defense remaining outside of the tanks, and now
Huge DMAC.
that is not quite the case. It looks like Goofy Goobers, with about 10 seconds remaining, will barely get the cart where it needs to be. Got a little bit scrappy there, but they brought it back.
Goobers had a phenomenal defense that allowed him just to hold it right before point A. The good news is though, it's a great play of the game. It's probably, let's be honest, it's probably a
We've never
rally.
seen those.
Okay,
No, it can't be a rally.
it's called Pocket the Ana.
Okay, 1 kill. I think that goes to show exactly how much happened this round in terms of big plays. There was a lot of small, methodical plays to the point where I guess the passive healing was enough to push it over the edge. Even Schleim is like, what happened? What did I do? So,
Exactly. Yeah,
not really
I'm-
sure with that one.
Honestly, I'm confused too. Like,
Everyone is.
I would like, but hey, I mean, there are great play of the games. Like for example, owners hitting massive shatters, and then there's Schleim, just hitting stuff as break. So
Existing. Yeah.
exactly, pretty much doing their job. So
Well, you win some, you lose some. If you're Goofy Goobers, you win that map, bring you back in the lead. Now 2-1. They are on match point. It looks like Hope's Peak are choosing Hanamura. Hopefully not a draw Namura, as we would like to get out of 2CP as soon as possible, regardless of who wins. So,
yeah, 2CP is like watching an Orisa comp. I'll be honest with you.
no real surprises geoed in as well for knock on wood.
Yeah. Yeah, I would obviously they're gonna be playing a Ryan Sim comp May because it's literally this choke is super difficult to break. Viraj and Phone gets subbed in for Hero and Rhinos. So Hero also did a phenomenal job on their debut, like on the Tracer as
definitely.
well. Yeah, like I was super impressed with their play. And props to them just coming in and turning around, I guess you could say turning around the Goofy Goobers mentals. So good for them with that. Raj and Phone now take over. They're definitely gonna run Sim May because they pretty much have 2 projectiles in. You know the story. It's and then like Dashi, also another person is Dashi on this diva. Like, even though yes, I think there's already needs improvement. Granted, I'm a diamond player. I have absolutely zero right to speak. But like their diva, whew, those eats were amazing. Like three blizzards in a row just got absolutely negated by Dashi and yeah, so I'd say definitely try to run them on the diva. If you are on the side of Hope's Peak, because that seems that like it's their comfort hero. So definitely do that. Flawless is looking consistent on the Rhine. And Chrome Zephyr looking great on the flex support as always. Yeah, so Slime will be still in the map on the side of Goofy Goobers. So very interested to see if they'll run. Actually, they might run the Pharah on defense, maybe like a Pharah Tracer.
I
So
could definitely see that. The
yeah.
entirety of Hanamura feels more in favor of Phone and Vraja's comfort picks. So
Mhm.
I'm not shocked that they come in for this map.
Yeah, definitely. So this is a and I'm very curious to see if Yak is going to play Diva or maybe even Sigma if Owners does decide to go Ball. Honestly, if Owners does go Ball, Yak did look a lot better on the Sigma compared to his Diva. So that because Sigma is just more self-sustainable than Diva, I guess you can say. Granted, Diva does have a get out jail free card every like 4 seconds, so that's always nice to have. Well, almost get out jail free, and she pretty much has two ultimates, like that's and a better Doom ult, I guess you can say as well. But Owners has been looking phenomenal as well on whichever main tank you throw on. Let's be honest.
Yep. Well, uh, from the looks of
I
it,
guess.
production is the only group in this lobby that is currently ready. Neither team have given the R. I'm sure Goofy Goobers really want to close the series out now. Not bring it to that map 5, despite dominating on Lijiang. You never want to risk that extra control, because it's such a wild card, especially because every control map is so different. So I'm sure they'd love to finish it here and not go to whatever Hope's peer, whatever their pick of control would be at that point. But let's see. Okay, I
Uh, yeah.
think we're just
So
waiting on Goofy Goobers.
yeah, we're waiting on Goofy Goobers. Phone ironically is on the phone right now, so we're just waiting on her to ready up.
Uh,
Yeah.
oh,
So this is it's there we go. Now they did say the other. So let's
okay,
get into the
there we
map.
go. Okay.
Hopefully we can finish it on this map because let's be honest, I'd rather watch paint dry than watch 2CP. So let's get into the lobby here. And I wouldn't be surprised if I wouldn't be surprised actually if it was a kind of a shadow dive, I guess you can say, with an Anna and a Anna Monkey Diva. I've actually seen that comp played a little bit on Hanamura. To varying degrees of success depending on how well coordinated your team is, of course. But I could definitely see Phone picking Farah here, as she is really well known for it. And
Symmetra on
actually,
defense, interesting.
yeah,
Okay,
they
so
are.
Symmetra May. Wait,
So
Ryan Roadhog. Wait, is EOC? No, okay, I was gonna say, is EOC out of
yeah,
spawn? They are not. So EOC basically a standard composition. The only difference being the Symmetra. What do you think they're
yeah,
gonna do with the Symmetra in terms of like? I'm assuming
yeah,
they're predicting the Symmetra on attack.
yeah. They definitely are predicting the Symmetra on the attack. Pretty much from what I've seen recently, the only really valuable comp is this comp that we are saying right now on the Symmetra May Brawl comp, and it's really honestly it's just been super successful because Hanamura has a very notorious choke, and when you can just skip the choke with a TP, why not? So
Well, no real surprises thus far. Both teams effectively mirror comping. Yeah, literally mirror comping. So it really depends on who plays it better, who has better rotations. Teleporter will be a big play in that. The owner's not wanting them to get set up into a good position. Pixelmaster looking for
that's
an early
huge.
game. No one's really engaging onto each other. They're all just kind of standing there, uh,
Yeah.
twiddling their thumbs, waiting for something to happen. A little bit of
Yeah.
hope coming in from the Symmetras, but otherwise, Oh, you can
Oh, they
TP
TP
from
up
there?
top.
Okay, I didn't
Yeah,
know you
they
could
can.
even do that angle, so immediately the rotation comes in, both teams now fighting onto the point, but Hopespeak has a slight high ground advantage. Once they want to take the Maywell now gone from phone, so if there ever were a time to engage, it would likely be now. But they are taking their sweet time now. The engagement bursts forth onto the point. Now Goofy Goobers are the ones caught on the wrong side of a Maywell. Pixel Master gets booped off, but I'm not sure if it matters with the main tank and main support from the defense now gone out of the fight. Flawless getting bullied a little bit from a Sim and a Mei, their worst nightmare. But again, what can they do? As a singular support with 2 DPS, the Symmetra wall comes in, but it's really just a defensive measure. Teleporting on the point to try and stagger it out. The Blizzard actually coming in from home, they really want to hold this. EOC coming back with their mech, as well as Dashi getting demech and deleted. Owners! Nice Pixel Master with the charge. I'm not sure how this is happening, but it looks like Goofy Goobers are able to stabilize after giving up about 2.5 ticks.
Yep, and Chrome Jeffrey just gets whipped off the map towards the end. Anyways, that was again, Goofy Goobers have really found more success with these comps that have been like, or these fights that have been super scrappy, because even despite like all the scrappiness going on, what's happening is the Goobers are just finding picks, and they're still coordinating abilities to the best. So, like, for example, even though Phone's Blizzard looked a little bit questionable for some people, I guess you can say, it definitely was phenomenal in terms of zoning, which allowed them to have the recontest. And they're doing another TP. What a boot!
Shatter coming in, finds 3, Owners finds 4. The beat coming in from both sides, making sure that everyone stays up and healthy. Owners getting deleted first, as well as Phone. Once again, 2 picks immediately coming in favor of Hopespeak. They don't have 2 ticks to play with this time around, so Goofy Goobers need to be all the more careful. EOC already out of mech, getting close to that remech. Looking for a remech kill, in fact, but not going to find it. With more kills coming in favor of the offense, it looks like we are going to see point A captured by Hopespeak once, there we go, once Amelia is now on the point. 4 minutes to go in second point.
Yeah, and the good news is, if you're on the side of Hopespeak, what you can do is you can definitely TP to the other side, and if you build up the sim wall just in time, you can definitely cut off the high ground from on the side of Goofy Goobers. Interesting early wall coming out from the Pixel Master, which doesn't really find too much value. However,
colors and lights onto the point, but the tie is the first one to fall. Shatter comes in to Owners and EOC. Owners is the only one to die from that, however. Looks like Phone and Browser are trying to do something in the backline. A lot of ultimates being invested into this. Hopespeak really wants to hold on to this Phone, tossing in the Blizzard once Dashi out of the mech. Bomb, and that's gonna look like a rather clean defense from Goofy Goobers. Got a little bit dicey there with all the ultimates being thrown into the mix, but
look at Flash's ult charge. Look at that.
Jesus. They just used it
to another wall.
They just used it. Are you kidding me?
Like, yeah, the thing with Symmetra is you build up her ult so fast, and it can be super valuable as well. Cutting the enemy team in half is always a great value play, because if supports are on one side, usually if it's like a Bappa or an Ana, you can definitely cut off healing. There comes a TP straight to point, so they're just going to be taking the fight super early, and the Shatter doesn't really find much value.
Okay, well the Blizzard does come in from Pixel Master, but Flawless is the first to fall there. A little bit of back and forth between Owners, not really finding the better of it. With the beat coming in from Amelia, that's likely going to be the defense stabilizing. Sure enough, that's the kill feed burning a rather stark pink according to the stream's colorblind settings, and that's gonna be Goofy Goobers stabilizing once again. But 2 minutes 20 seconds still on the clock for Hopespeak. They have some time to work with.
Yeah, they definitely do. They can probably build up to another sim wall for sure. Definitely another Blizzard, and they can. In my opinion, I would just dry fight this. Maybe force out a couple ults on the side of Goofy Goobers, and then hit them like a truck with the next fight. So. Phone is getting relatively close to her Blizzard, and they're going to push higher. And they're using the beat really aggressively, which it does pick up Owners. And Geo goes down to the bomb.
His wall riding, I believe, and gets caught out by EOC. Not quite enough. Done. The Blizzard.
Oh my goodness.
Phone once again. Nightmares from King's Row. Dashi back into it, as well as both Tanglemen coming in line for Hopespeak. Kill feed is utterly blue. bomb coming in from Dash E. The Shatter, well, was
Oh.
lacking, but it doesn't really matter as Dash E is picking up the slack. That's one tick onto second point with EOC actually coming onto the ball now. Not sure how long he will survive as he is frozen and melted. Find another free man. Nothing comes out of it. As Flawless is still.
Wait, the Bastion! The Bastion! Oh no!
Was it on the point in the teleporter?
Oh.
Just over the edge, the Maywall stopped any hope of contention. And that's gonna be Hope's Peak with how much time was that? 1 minute 6 seconds. They hold Goofy Goobers to overtime in capturing. It's draw or lose for Goofy Goobers. That's a really good situation for Hope's Peak.
Yeah, that extra 6 seconds, even though it doesn't seem like it a lot, it'll be huge if Goobers does count this. I know. If I'm on point,
they're
we
so
win.
bad. I mean,
that was,
to be fair, the Bastion looked like they were on point until it captured.
Yeah, if y'all haven't seen Karku's video about the point boundaries, watch it. Especially you, Phone, after seeing that as well.
I'm just waiting for Twitch chat to catch up with that one because that's a whole different level of what just happened.
I know that was honestly though that was hilarious. I'm like, wait, that's a Bastion in the background. What? And so yeah, but yeah, that was actually super coming out from Goofy Goobers. Like, even though they can be like, oh, Bastion's a cheesesteak. You know what? Who cares? Like, it's Overwatch. You can play whatever you want.
The point is not to win with honor. The point is to win.
Exactly. Exactly. It doesn't matter how you win. It just matters. It just matters if you win or not. Anyways, we will be seeing the exact same comp on defense on the side of Goofy Goobers, and they will be switching into McCree on the side of Hope's Peak. So let's see.
Symmetra.
Yeah, they recognize the TP right away, and they are going to TP to the high ground, which is going to be a bit of an advantage on the side of Hope's Peak, so they are, so it's going to be, the Sim is cooking a lot, though, yeah.
A lot of poke damage coming in onto Goofy Goobers, as well as a teleporter straight onto point that's rather aggressive. The Phone is the first one to fall as a result, the boot coming in onto EOC, but the boosters up and ready. Not really too much damage coming in onto Hope's Peak, so they're not really feeling any pressure at the moment, unless Owners finds a miraculous shatter, but I don't imagine they want to use it. Yeah, sure, this is just a wash of an engagement for Goofy Goobers. GG go next, you have 3 minutes, no time to panic.
Yeah, that was honestly, if I were Goofy Goobers, especially going into this defense here, it's you pretty much have to have a kind of a longer brawl in order for the Sim to really get a ton of value, and because Sim's damage happens over time. If you just cook the beam on a shield, it's literally like a sorry, which is super scary. And also, you're pretty much just using that fight to build ults. Speaking of ults, there comes an early coming up from Crown. Yeah.
Shatter coming in from Flawless. We'll find only 2, but it does bring Owners incredibly low as well as posting on the lamp. It's high, looking for something with behind him, but will not find it. Keep in mind that Owners is now gone, so it's a 5v6 on point in favor of Hope's Peak. The Blizzard coming in from both teams. The tie now gone. And it looks like the Symmetra wall will be thrown into the mix as well. The beat for both teams coming in, but the one from Hope's Peak giving a little bit more longevity to the team. Big Smash getting rather low, and I'm not sure if they have Ice Block available. Both Diva Bombs almost in tandem, neither finding really anything. And this is looking rather scrappy. It's hard to say who has the advantage. Flawless now swinging will actually take down the last chunk of Owner's health, and that's likely going to have to be Goobers resetting. They can't do anymore without their mainstay.
Yeah, one thing I do want to point out is that Owners got his shatter canceled earlier in the fight, and which was massive if you're on the side of Hope's Peak, because you don't have to worry about it anymore. I'm not sure if they knew it or if they think they're holding a shatter until Overwatch 2, but Owners can definitely build up another shatter to match Flawless. However, taking the TP to the right side this time.
A little bit out of the low ground. I'm not sure if that's where they meant to take it, but it looks like Flawless is waiting for an opportunity for that shatter. He has it. He's willing and ready to go. Will not find anything. Phone actually jukes it out, and the tie will be the first one to fall in this engagement. Neither shatter will find anything. Flawless taking a little bit of symmetric damage, as well as Blizzard coming in from Pixel Masters. So they're done playing games in this area, but Flawless getting stuck with the Maywell wasn't able to take out owners himself. But Geode, glad to do the deed, as it were. Less than a minute remaining, and really the ultimate online for Goofy Goobers is getting a little bit hectic here as Lupical booped off the points. They don't even get a chance to use their window. It's 30 seconds
left by
territory. Keep in mind, Geode is a Lucio, so we'll be back soon.
I completely forgot. It's an advanced Lucio. They're probably going to be back before the fight against Chris, so.
Probably got a bit too hyper-aggressive. He does that from time to time.
Yeah, who cares? I mean, if you're on Lucio, it doesn't matter.
Symmetric teleport straight off the point, but Dashie was ready with the bombs, the phone tossing in the blizzard, but it's really for naught as they die immediately thereafter. It's just EOC onto the points, and they will have the overtime. Dashie getting 2K there. Up. We're going to map 5, folks. Whether you want to or not, we're going to control.
Woohoo! Yeah, but honestly, Dashie with another clutch heat there as well. I think Eok might have disconnected there towards the end. He was standing still for the final part of the point, as we see a symmetric play of the game. Literally just
microwave.
Oh my goodness, that is a ton of damage.
He just wanted to reset. Well, I'm not sure what the final map pick will be, but it will be one of the remaining 2 control points in the map pool, which I believe is Ilios. No, Ilios is Grand Finals tiebreaker, so that's not in the map pool. Should be Busan and Nepal, I believe.
Yes. Yeah, so it's Busan and Nepal. I wouldn't be surprised to see if Goofy Goobers does go Busan, because A, they've looked better on comps that are not called Brawl. And B, it'll show their overall versatility. And the only map they really have to worry about on the side of Goofy Goobers, if they do choose Busan, is going to be Mecha Base, which is pretty much Kings Row 2.0, because
Busan.
It is. And yes, like I said earlier, Busan. And so they definitely will play to their player strengths, as well as. Sorry, I got a phone call from my mom, but. It definitely will play to their players' strengths, as well as Hope Peak's weaknesses. Like Hope Peak, I can't say that 5 times fast. I'm sorry. They have looked a lot weaker when they are off the brawl. They look a lot more coordinated on it. Like Pixel Masters May has actually been phenomenal, and Pixel Master has looked phenomenal on the way. Nitai, that's how you say it, is looking great on the hit scan as well. And honestly, it's not honestly with Goofy Goobers, that's really who I would just worry about, especially going into Busan. If you shut down Pixel Master and Nitai, none of the rest, or not, the rest of the team isn't really doing too much right now. So let's see. So production's ready, obviously, and I'm just waiting to see on how Goofy Goobers will be playing on this Busan map, especially considering that they are losing the mirror on Brawl right now. So
yeah, it's gonna be possibly coming down to the order of rounds in Busan, because like we said, each round could potentially play into a different team's strengths. Especially when we go to a map like Sanctuary, one of those 2 is the name of it, the long-range one that you see a lot of snipers on, the bongo drum and all that. We could actually see the fabled owners Orisa, and it be more common, as it were. So it looks like Hope's Peak is ready. Goofy Goobers, I'm sure, trying to come back from that full hold on Hanamura. It's such a difficult map to capture when you're not feeling it, and you don't have no momentum working for you. And thus far, the series has gone back and forth quite a bit, so I'm sure there's a little bit of nerves. But if they can get through that, who knows? They 2-0'd on Lijiang, so maybe they can do it again on Busan. I mean, if we follow the pattern thus far, it's gonna go back to Goofy Goobers. But who's to say that the pattern means anything at this point?
And then quick question. I wasn't really caught up with the other advanced game. Did that go to map 5?
That did, yes.
Okay. Yeah. So So then this will be so it's funny because both of the games last week for the advanced games they went to map 4. Both of the games this week are going to map 5. So it's like sweet. But yeah,
Yeah, well,
so
they like to mirror each other. They're a
exactly.
very tight knit community, the advanced division, as it were. So
Yeah,
maybe a
every
little bit
single
too
one of
tight
these
knit.
players know each other like pretty much. Like I know Eok's been in the league for forever. Phone's been in here since season 2. Raja, I believe, since season 3. Flawless since
Actually, this is Raja's rookie season.
really?
Yeah, they played
Interesting.
in Fox, but not.
Oh, that's why yeah,
Yeah.
purple. And yeah, Chrome has always been in here. Pixel Master. You know, all these players know each other like super well. So,
Alright.
and we will be so they will
Shadow
be
Dive
running
versus Shadow Brawl.
This is gonna be fun to watch. And yeah, if I were the diva, especially on the Shadow Brawl cap, your Ryan can definitely stand there a little bit longer than the Winston. Winston, however, does have that 6-second blink cooldown.
Owner's almost overstaying his rope, has to use the jump pack to get out, but he's still rather low, and it doesn't look like Lupical is able to reach him, finally using Buffet to get back out. Yeah, she getting a little bit low as well, but it looks like Hope's Peak are taking the advantageous positioning onto point and are forcing Goofy Goobers to jump in onto them. But Owners once again gets down to about a third of his health bar and has to back out. Goofy Goobers just doesn't know how to engage with this right now. Yeah, she, however, out of the mech will allow for a little bit more damage to be brought forth. Pixel Master actually hacked out by Vraja, and that would be the first legitimate blood being drawn, and instead she does not get a chance to get back into the mech, but Hope's Peak doesn't want to give up. This point is getting booped into Amelia, and Coalescence coming in from Lupical. They really want this point in Geo in the meantime. Okay, Death Blossom coming in from the Tide in the middle of a Winston bubble as well as the Defense Matrix right on top of us. Oh, okay, Geo, you know, there's a certain amount of disrespect that's expected, but still. And they're still contesting my point. Actually, he's now back. The Shadow coming in. Fine. What was that, 2? I mean, they're not winning the fight, but Hope's Peak stalled that out for almost half of the control percentage. That was an incredible stall at the very least.
Yeah, interestingly enough, Hope's Peak did flip it around on their head. And that was a phenomenal bomb from Eok because the rest of his team got triggered and that was able to zone away the rest of the team. So Pixel, they will be matching EMPs. However, Geo does not have his peak. So here comes the early EMP.
But it won't find too much until the very end where Natai is taken down. Lupical will find Flawless as well as a very late Coalescence invested from Chrome Zephyr. I'm sure he would love to have that back. Actually, I'm assuming just resetting. And that's going to be Hope's Peak resetting entirely.
I mean, yeah, to be fair though, with Coalescence, it is pretty much a third ability. Like, you can just farm it up, you can farm it up super quick. Especially if you're playing this comp that involves a lot of grouping up, a lot of unity, I guess you can say. You can just farm up a Coalescence super quick, so...
Look at how far Amelia is played away from the rest of his team because he wanted to make sure that the beat landed onto the hack targets, and Geo has to return kind. Owners Lupical investing their ultimates as well. Flawless coming up onto another Shatter, however, so I wouldn't be shocked to see that come out almost immediately after getting it. Owner is not long for this world, as well as the tie using the Death Blossom into a Diva Bomb, and there is only so much you can survive, and that is certainly not one of the nuclear explosions. That is not exactly the kindest to a person standing still. And we're now getting into one-fight territory for Goofy Goobers. Hope's Peak reset. They lost that fight.
Yeah, Pixel Master does have to be the one to touch. But look at the ultimates. They have an EMP Blossom on the side of Goofy Goobers, so that'll be very tough to push into. Like, Bum might accidentally pull the trigger early here on this Blossom, unless Barrage can farm up the EMP super quick.
Bone already forced to use the Wraith form, so the survivability now is incredibly far gone. The Death Blossom coming in, as well as the EMP to help the Death Blossom at the very end, and it looks like this round is going handily in favor of Goofy Goobers with just a little bit of cleanup coming up once they get the Lucio off the point. Yep, Geo says hi to the train, or I guess looped a little bit further into the bay. Either or, the end result is the same.
Yeah, Slime just pretty much tied him down to the train track, so It's no biggie. Anyways, I wouldn't be surprised if we're gonna go to. Yep, I called it. We're going to Mecha Base.
Okay,
I'll,
well, this is gonna be Hope's Peak best chance to win a round, if anything.
yeah, Hope's Peak has definitely been looking a lot better on the brawl. Like, even though yes, owners has been. I'll be honest with you, he's been kind of Ryan dipping flawless, but the rest of the team has really been picking it up. Like Pixel Master on the May especially, and Nitai whether or Nitai on the McCree has been super consistent as well. So yeah, Hope Speak is definitely this is definitely like a blessing if you're on the side of Hope Speak. So looks like both teams will be meeting up on this on the narrow side, I guess you can say. Pretty much the opposite.
Just looking for a little bit of burst damage that cannot be negated, as it were. Gets stunned out by the time, but doesn't lead to any kills either which way. Chrome Zephyr already using their immortality. Actually, both teams using their lamp early. The owners is the one who pays the price. As a result, the point is now unlocked, but the teams are not done scuffling up onto the high ground. However, it looks like Flawless is done, as that's a 3k and some change. So that's going to be Hope's Peak with the first capture.
Yeah, Flawless must have heard me talking about the Rhine diff. To be honest though, he already farmed up his shatter, and he definitely is not really getting as called out as much as owners on this Reinhardt. And so it looks like they will be rotating quickly right side. Great wall from Phone, allowing the oh no, that window is in such a rough spot on the side of,
I've never seen a window do that, but it doesn't matter when Flawless finds a 5-man shatter. No one was able to do anything for owners. Raja soon fall thereafter, and they don't even need to use any other ultimates. 2 and done, despite the floating in Matrix, which again I have never seen that in my entire life, but it was cool to see for once. But Flawless with like a 5-man just closes it out.
Exactly. The bad news is if you're owners as well, you got another shatter cancel, so that's gonna be definitely a little bit rough to push up into. And he really actually needs it this time.
EOC eats the Blizzard. That's going to be the first one negated for Pixel Master, but that's right as you got the beat out regardless. The return beat from Geo. Looks like Phone tossing in their own Blizzard. Flawless for once is the first one to fall. Dashi looking for an opportunity for a bomb and will find Raja. The fight's going rather back and forth. Neither team wants to yield. He progresses. Dashi will find owners as well. Natai bringing Luke Wolf down and back to spawn. EOC tossing in a bomb just to remech and hopefully finding something. Will not either with the remech. And this is looking rather dicey for Goobers. They're not finding the fix, and they're slowly bleeding members even as more come back. Same goes for Hope's Peak. Fair enough, Flawless comes back and just decides owners is being escorted rather violently back to spawn.
Yeah, the thing is though, well, yeah, Lupical was already back up to his window. Owners does have a shatter. Let's see if it won't get canceled. Unfortunately, they can't really push up top because that's going to be a lot of damage coming through. So even touch.
EOC does touch. Flawless finds the shatter in the low ground. That's going to prevent a lot of touching from coming in. EOC, the victim of the high noon, as well as the Blizzard, and probably the least convenient location possible for Goobers. Lupical stood no chance, and this round is going even more handily in favor of Hope's Peak. We're going to Sanctuary, folks.
And this map will decide the win. And honestly, it is gonna be Sanctuary. So, actually, wait, what is it called? Yeah.
Sanctum or Sanctuary? It's one of those two, I believe.
It is. Yes, it's Sanctuary.
Yeah. Sanctum is the Nepal, the giant.
Yeah, Penny, can I get a confirmation? Is it Sanctuary?
Pendy, I don't know.
Okay. That's great. So yeah, it looks like we will be seeing the I guess you can say mini goats comp on the side of Goofy Goobers, as yeah, owners is definitely a lot more comfortable on the monkey and the Orisa, I guess you can say, as well as the ball. So pretty much the main tanks that actually require skill.
Ironically, both teams are now running out on the exact position they won their respective rounds with. A very nice Maywall from Pixel Master. He does get hacked up, but I'm not sure if it really matters with Amelia now out of the fight. Owners soon to follow, and that is going to be more than likely the first fight for Hope's Peak. A soft disengage from Goobers as they don't want to fully give up the point quite yet, and killing Chrome Zephyr is a nice touch, but Phone actually had to Wraith Form out of that kill, so I'm not sure if they're going to be able to do much outside of that. A little bit of a contest from Raja, but disengaged. So it looks like a little bit of a miscommunication from Goofy Goober's side of things as they go into a fight that they had already lost, but they're now here, so they're either here to win or here to lose. We'll find out soon. As owners, again, first of all, it seems like a pattern, but Flawless Falling is a good counter offensive. Phone is a huge portion of the damage. Goofy Goobers now gone. Coalescence. Goofy Goobers do not want to give up this point as well, but Dashy finds two with the bomb, and that is going to secure it. Goofy Goobers, if you don't mind me saying, look a little bit frazzled after that last one.
Yeah, Goofy Goobers are looking ironically like Hope's Peak in the past. It's like they almost switched sides. Goofy Goobers is now really looking as coordinated. As Raja just gets picked off, unfortunately. So
staggered. And he had EMP. That's so tragic.
Yeah, they definitely have to wait for him to come back from Sombra. Luckily, Sombra is pretty quick. Invisibility does get like pretty much a soldier sprint buff, I guess you can say. And yeah, so they will be going in with an EMP and a Blossom, it looks like. As they are going to rotate main, so...
Phone slowly building up to that Death Blossom for its namesake. The EMP comes in, completely negates the amplification matrix, but Phone dies before they're able to build up to the Death Blossom. Flawless finds yet another shatter, felt rather free, but there's a lot of deaths in favor of Goofy Goobers. Hope's Peak not looking extremely healthy, but Flawless says no. And says
Dashy just coming up clutch.
Yep, Dashy finds quite a few kills on the back of Flawless' Shatter, as well as a follow-up, and Lupical has to get out, but are they gonna get staggered as they are rather low? No, it looks like Hope's Peak will be merciful just this once, as Hope's Peak hopes are rather high at the time. Those are coming in for Pixel Master, as well as the Ty's Death Blossom. Not really finding too much. Bone now trying to find something, but Pixel Master with a Rogue Icicle will find something. Amelia!
Oh, your bomb too!
Both supports die to Dashy's bomb. Once again coming in clutch is the Diva from Hope's Peak. You can't ask for more, folks. Took a while to get there, but Hope's Peak bring it back with a singular DPS and 3 supports in. What a world we live in.
Yeah, I'll be honest with you. Pixel Master looked phenomenal on that main, like, ironically. Like,
Flawless earned this, man. He earned it so hard.
Game, you know. Nice little free shatter.
I didn't think this was a shatter,
out, yeah.
No, he just built up a shatter?
Yeah, he's just fragging out.
This was... Ridiculous doesn't even describe this match. This was... an ungodly amount of fun to cast, at the very least.
Absolutely, yeah. Like, whether it was Goofy Goobers landing a shatter or Hope's Peak just coming in clutch, it was such a fun game to cast. Anyways, who do you want to get in for an interview? I'm thinking Dashy, because Dashy had a great game.
Well, while we figure that out, let's go to a short break to allow Pendy some time to set up whoever. Okay, well, let's go to a break anyways while we figure this out, unless you don't want to go to a break, Pendy. Okay, Pendy does not want to go to a break, so we're just going to figure it out right now.
Flawless.
Who wants to get in? I'll find him. 1 second. He is somewhere in the voice chats. Probably. Let's see. We're in casting booth 1, move 2. Boom.
And there he is.
He is man of the hour.
Oh, you guys want me to turn on the camera?
If you want, yeah, it's optional.
Dude, I wish I had it on right now. I have it, but it'd take a little bit, so now.
Gotcha. Okay, that's fine.
Okay, well, how are you feeling after winning that match with a singular DPS in the lineup?
I'm not gonna lie to you. This week has been very stressful for our team. A lot of problems we've been having recently with players leaving. A lot of stress within the team about that. Actually, yesterday we weren't even expecting to play Pixel on DPS. We were actually gonna have me on DPS, but Gil called off. Gil called off, so then Pixel came in and his May just randomly popped off. So I mean, whatever. So honestly, we've been stressing out a lot, and I promised my team, whoever gets MVP of this match, a pizza, a side dish, and a drink. So now
What
they're
if
getting
you
a
get it?
pizza, a side dish, and a drink. If I get it, then I'm treating myself, of course.
And then,
Of
yeah,
course.
I was about to say, Pizza Hut did come out with like the Vancouver Titans little kind of special. If you
Exactly.
know, and yeah, you better get him that
I
if
will.
Pixel is voted MVP. Yeah, just
I
or
will.
get him something similar if they don't live in the area,
I
obviously.
plan to give them something, but like it has been pretty stressful for us. We
Yeah.
had very low expectations coming into this match. We're planning for the future as we have finally we're gonna have our regular roster coming from now on. We're actually having a signing here soon, so we're trying
Others?
our best to help. I mean, I could spoil it, but I don't want to. But we're trying to get ourselves back on our feet because of our last match and this match. We haven't had our full roster, so we're trying our best to, get our full roster here.
Yeah,
Well,
I mean, go for it, Akri.
no, I was just gonna say the Twitch stream just caught up, and I'm watching chat go absolutely bonkers. So that's fun.
Man, Adbon's the goat. I feel so bad. Adbon went on vacation. Natai was actually on vacation this weekend as well. And then the situation where we lost Captain Snipes was very unfortunate. So that just left us with literally 0 DPS. So we thought at first we would go into this match with no DPS, which was even scarier. And then Natai was able to show up on Monday. Then we got Pixel on DPS, and things somehow turned out to a win. I'm really happy though. Our brawl looked really clean today.
Yeah, so I mean, obviously Goopy Goobers also looked pretty good as well.
Yeah.
Is there any one player in particular you want to shout out on Goofy Goobers for having I guess you can say, who gave you the biggest issues?
I think someone that gave me personally the biggest issues was Phone. Especially when they played a little bit of 6-man and stuff like that. Phone gave me a little bit of issues. Um, especially as a main tank playing against people, heroes like Reaper and May, the heroes that Phone plays, it gives me a lot of stress. So it scares the living Jeebus out of me. But I would like to shout out Phone. I also want to shout out my boys Rhinos and Eok. They're both really, really good players, and I respect the hell out of them. So I just wanted to shout them out here. But yeah.
So I I gotta know, what were the comms like when Dashy ate the third blizzard on King's Row?
Bro, Dash was hyping himself up, bro. We were getting excited. We were like, Dash for MVP, Dash for MVP. We didn't. Dash played really, really well. I'm happy that at least this week we were able to get an off-tank player actually playing, because last week we had Adbon on off-tank, and not to be rude to Adbon, he even admits it himself. His diva's not that good. So.
Yeah, Dashy looked really, really good on the Diva. I'll be honest with you, I was super impressed by his play, as well as Pixel Master on the May, on the main tank, of course. And yeah, all of you guys looked really, really impressive. So kudos to that. And usually, normally this is the last question I like to ask, unless Acronator, of course, has another one.
I got nothing more.
Oh, gotcha. Well, so you said you are going to get a pizza to the MVP. Are you going to get it with pineapples? Yes or no?
Pineapple on pizza is disgraceful.
Thank you. Thank you. To all you in the chat right now, listen to what Flawless just said, because he is absolutely right, and you're wrong.
Now we gotta wait 3 minutes for the reaction to kick in. Anyways, congratulations, Flawless, and everyone on Hope's Peak for an extremely hard-fought victory, especially given the circumstances of this past week. So if you have any final shout-outs, any closing statements before we let you go, the floor is yours.
Of course, hashtag fangs down, hashtag newt newt, hashtag high hopes. I'm bringing all these organizations together. This is the best team ever. We got this. We'll try our best to win. Thank you very much.
All right. Well, that is all we've got for you folks. Hopefully you enjoyed this crazy match. Much longer than I think a lot of people were expecting, but personally I love a good slobber knocker. So I've been Acronator. This is Corbs. Subscribe, not subscribe, I don't have that enabled yet. Follow the League Zero Twitch. Subscribe to the YouTube channel to appease Ridecoast. And that's all we've got. So until Friday, when we come back for Novice Games, see you then.